Please remember that all the opinions in the show are those of the host and should only be taken as food for thought. We're in no way telling you to do anything. Everything is kept anonymous for the safety of the listeners and no information is shared to anyone else. If you are easily offended by people's opinions or views, then thank you for making it this far, but this is not the podcast for you. So see you later. And please enjoy the rest of the show. So this listener says, I'm in love with my girl's mate. Me and my girl have been together for 3 years, but it's gone stale. We argue all the time and spend a lot of time apart because of work commitments. Her best friend moved in a year ago, and I find myself drawn to her so much more. I feel like she feels a certain way about me as well. Am I a bad person for feeling this way? And can you think of a way that I can make a move without looking like a scumbag? Please keep me anonymous.
Put his name in it?
I'm not telling you.
Well, a lot of them, yeah.
Well,
a lot of them do.
Well, tell me if he said his name. You don't tell me his name.
Yeah, he did, yeah.
That's insane. That's an insane
because they trust us, Chuck. That's what it is. We built this trust between our listeners. They know.
All right, forward it to me so I can say his name out loud. No,
there was a couple of times Jamie's blurted out a name that we've had to.
Yeah, I've had to cut it.
Yeah.
He's been with her for 3 years, and her mate moved in a year ago.
It's weird because, like, I've had a lot of girlfriends, and they've had some attractive friends that you get along with. I've always had this feeling, and I know that this is kind of controversial. Your girlfriend should let you bang their friends. No, that's not it. No, my feeling that's controversial is like, let's say you're dating someone. You could be a man or a woman, and you could be dating a man or a woman, and then you meet their friend. If that person likes you and has shared interest, and they like their friend and they have shared interest, it only makes sense that you would probably also like the friend. And if they're attractive, why would you not be attracted to them? Right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So I think it's a common thing. I think the idea of being in a relationship with a girl for 3 years and being like, how can I transition to dating her friend who is a roommate is fucking bananas. Yeah. It can't be done where you're still a good person, for sure. So if you want to be a good person, here's what you do. You talk to your girlfriend, you say, hey man, I think things are not going well with us. And you check in with her and you say, how do you feel? And let's say she says, she could either be surprised or she could feel the same. Mm-hmm. And if she's surprised, you could say, do you want to work on it? And you guys work on it. Or if she feels the same, you say, do you want to work on it? And maybe you guys work on it. There's a chance that she feels the same. And she's like, maybe we should just go our separate ways, especially if you guys are younger. Mm-hmm. And if that's the case, then you can go your separate ways. And I think if you're with her for 3 years, if you want to date her friend after that, you got to have a conversation with her. And if you're a good person, you want to make sure that she's comfortable with that. Yeah. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And most likely, I've dated some people that have gone on to date my friends, and I've been comfortable with that. That's okay. Depending on the situation, though, like the idea of me being with someone for 3 years and then they date my friend who live with us is fucking crazy. I can't see that.
Wild.
I can't see that happening. But different strokes, you know what I mean? Like, I guess it depends, but I would say the clear and honest communication is the right thing to do. And then if you're a piece of shit deep down inside your soul, you do whatever you want, I guess. I could never do that. I mean, no. I've dated a lot of girls where I was attracted, like severely attracted to their friends or siblings or whatever, My ex-girlfriend that I was with for a long time had a sister that was very similar looking, but like, my ex-girlfriend was she had like darker skin and dark eyes and dark hair, and her sister had blonde hair and lighter skin and blue eyes. And they were both like beautiful. And so like, of course I'd be attracted to her sister, but I would never, ever broach the idea of trying to date her sister.
Never understand we would do that.
Sister's also tougher. Sister's also a tougher self.
Definitely.
You're still going to the same Thanksgiving every year.
Yeah.
You're just sitting on the other
side of the table.
Trying to
so I don't know.
Potatoes.
I think the best way to do it, and the thing is, you could be surprised. Like I don't know. The chances seem pretty low, but you could be surprised. And it's one of those things where really the best outcome, if you actually wanted this to happen, would be to talk to her. She feels the same. You guys break up. a lot of time goes by, then you broach the subject, then you try to date her friend. But I'm sure this guy doesn't seem like he's a patient type when it comes to
No.
this kind of stuff. He seems like a weird horn dog. I would say if you're 100% sure you don't want to be with this person, communicate with them. And I think you got to drop the idea that you're going to bang the friend, and you just got to go find somebody that's not related to this situation.
Yeah, I
Plus the-
100% agree with that.
Plus, the friend and the girlfriend probably have to be okay with severing their relationship completely if this happens, right?
Yeah.
You know,
yeah.
even if they're both okay with it, they kind of have to be like, yeah, I'm not going to be friends with them anymore because it's too uncomfortable.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
After this amount of time, if he's like, I dated this girl for 2 months and we're not really getting serious, I'm not really interested, and I like her friend, it might be a different story. But if you're living together for 3 years, you're a fucking lunatic, dude.
3 years, and then like the fact that they live together as well makes it even stranger. Because like, where would you expect to be
Exactly.
in a year's time?
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
You're not going to still be living together.
Yeah, exactly.
Just
change
bedrooms.
bedrooms.
Yeah. Exactly.
Grab your pillow and just move to another room. When when I was reading this email, it felt to me like you don't see each other very often because you're always working, so you're highly stressed. You come home, and when you do see each other, you take it out on each other, and then there's this woman in your house that's being nice to you, and you're thinking, well, she's nice and my girlfriend isn't. So to me, it just sounds
kind of a situation, just
the
situation you're in.
To
me,
me,
the attractiveness.
It feels like you need to plan your days off together, where you're doing something that isn't stuck in or just having dinner, so you can sort of have something exciting and happy together, and then I think it will fizzle out the roommate,
the interest.
Yeah. I think that your possibility is like, when you're with someone, the longer you're with someone, the more comfortable you get. And so like if you're in a shitty mood, like when you first start dating, because actually it's funny. So me and Natalie, we're going through this a little bit. We actually talked about it this week because we met. We've been dating for almost 6 months now, and we don't see each other all the time. We see each other once every 2 weeks for a few days. So we're really in the honeymoon phase, like crazy when we see each other. But this week we spent 9 days together, and there was a day where I woke up and she was just kind of being quieter and not as like whatever. And I was like, oh, like, are you annoyed with me? Like, what's the deal? Like, what's going on?
Yeah.
And we eventually talked about it. And she's like, I'm used to, like, I haven't been in a relationship for a long time. I haven't been in a serious relationship for a long time. So I haven't spent a ton of time with, like over a week with someone in a long time. But eventually it has to become like, it's part of your life. So you're not putting on that big happy smile. It's not surprising. It's not like a big thing. And so it becomes, the person you're with. And I do think it's really easy to fall into the idea of like going further down that road, years down that road, letting that person see the shittiest sides of you, like when you're fucking annoyed or when you're, when you're not having a good day and not trying anymore. And I do think couples eventually do that after a few years.
Yeah.
Where it just feels like they just don't give a shit, and it's just like your partner becomes like wallpaper to you. They're there all the time, and so you never have any sort of attempt to try to make things really sweet and nice and happy. And if this guy feels like maybe it's a possibility that they've done that with each other, it'd be good to explore trying to think about that. And you're right, because the friend is not in a relationship with you, so you don't have that. So the friend is still being nice to you, and you're seeing this kind of like public version of the person that where they put on their best personality.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Yeah, I do think that when it comes to the friend as well, because she's obviously, you're the boyfriend of her mate, she's always going to give you a lot more time than she would if you was nobody to her and with no connection.
Yeah,
that relationship wouldn't already be halfway there. So she's being nice because you're her mate's fucking boyfriend, and you're in your room having a wank over her.
Yeah, exactly. And by the way, you can do that all you want. That's fine. You don't have to tell anybody about it. You know what I mean?
We'll get an email next week saying that's what he's been doing. That's how he's handling it.
That's fine. I'm thinking about this weird frump, and I don't even know what she looks like. I've got a half chub right now thinking about it.
But you had a couple different point of views on that email, so hopefully one of them helps you out. But let us know. We always like to hear back from you.